A quick little live, man. Part 3 of conversations with a frustrated baby father. It's part 3, the final part. It's gonna go in a little bit further. Close this thing out, man. Basically, go in a little bit further about my situation. Or about my situation with my estranged child, basically, or my me and my baby mother being at odds, being butting heads about a certain situation, and her closing me out of my child's life. So yeah, put this on do not disturb so I don't hear none of that. Got time for none of that, man. But part 3. Part 3. Give me a second so I can, you know what I'm saying? Hang with me, man. Tune in with me. Give me a second. Just gotta figure out exactly where my train of thought left off at last, man. Part 2. Part 2, I was going in, man. I feel like it was pretty good. Listen to it a little bit. Testing. Let me just see where I left off at, man. Like it's shame and so guilt need to be right. Shout out to Kevin, you know, talking about and or some type of crazy stuff like that she does on TikTok, and I don't, I try not to judge folks, but it's like they don't live in reality. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I got to see where I left off at. Yeah, man, the child is in the custody of my baby mother in Detroit, Michigan. As I previously said, she was in the custody of my cousin, my first cousin, for a little bit of time. Man, basically the whole child's life, to be honest with you. Over her, over her, but majority of her life, she stayed with the my cousin, who she thought was her biological father, who the mother had put on him from the beginning, had him believing he was the child's father. Then, but she told me she had said, uh, told him he wasn't the child's father. As time went on, I know for a fact she said online, "Give the child back to your cousin." Saw the post she made. Um, as I said previously, had a conversation with him. Thought he was gonna have a DNA test. It never came to fruition. Uh, yeah, man. She got the child back at the end of 2022. End of 2022, November 2022, she took the child back, took her to Michigan. She was staying in a hotel room with her until she got her place, blase, blase. So, yeah, to where we are at now. Basically, as I said, I'm just frustrated. Um, don't really know where to go. I mean, I know where to go. It's the next step is law enforcement, basically. That's the only thing I can do. I can get a case. I can call up to that Detroit and see what's going on and get a case started. That's the only thing I can do. Get a paternity suit, establish paternity, and move forward from there. There's nothing else I can do. So back to it. I'm just gonna go in to say, as I said, learn from us, learn from people like us, from like people like me. Man, plenty of men go through this, make these type of mistakes, and go through this type of situations. It's not, as I said, this is not something that's just unique to myself. Plenty men that go through this, man, unfortunately, where women use children as leverage to try to hurt the men, for whatever reason that may be. That's between them and God. But man, going back in on it, yeah, so as I told you, I had pressed her out, more so asked the child some really direct questions, my daughter some direct questions regarding how she felt about the situation. Obviously this is a lot of stress for a 9-year-old child, to learning that this, your biological father, who you thought for over your whole life to 8 years old, is not your biological father. Your mother lied to you, withheld information, whatever you want to call it. And these are the cards in the hands that you were dealt, what I'm saying, in life. So of course I know, she's not gonna take to me, easily. She doesn't know me to be her father. That's just facts. She knows me now to be her biological father, as she's been told. But it's gonna take time to find that connection as a father. We all know that. That's just human nature. Um, as I said, I fell out with the mother because of that conversation. Me asking her, did I do anything wrong? Blase, blase. She said I was doing that because I was guilty about not being able to talk to her, and she said she cut me off completely from even having conversations or any type of contact with my child. So this in itself is hurting the child. She needs a type of some type of male, positive male figure in her life to tell her, give her some direction other than a damaged black woman who is the only you know um the custodial parent, the only one who's giving her any type of guidance or in her life. So man, how do we go in on this? I mean, closing out, I mean, that's basically it. Like, I told you the whole scenario. I met the girl, how, the whole situation, how the child was, brought to this point. Um, as I said, man, I don't really got time to mudsling or just bring down the mother. That ain't even what I'm here for. I'm here just to, put for public display what a lot of black men go through. I have my own. I have, as I said previously, I have another set of children with my fiance, 3 children. Um, 1, 3, and 5. Uh, so I mean, all the things black people go through, we don't really have time for all this backbiting and negativity. Like as I said, she's a damaged woman. She's went through a lot of things in her life. It's for public display. It's on her platform. She says it's for public knowledge. She's her mother, her and her mother have a toxic, estranged relationship. Um, she dropped her son back off there. Like I said, man, it's just it's a microcosm. My life is just a microcosm of what a lot of black men unfortunately go through in America. When you don't plan to or have a good relationship with a woman, when it's a woman who does not have a good relationship with herself or with her family or just life in general, she just has just disconnected. It's only a must that the child is going to suffer. She has 3 children who don't. She tries to guilt me, but it's funny she's going through the same thing herself. Like I've had my children their whole lives. Like she has not. She has 2 boys and a girl. Oldest boy is 17. The next boy is, I want to say, she'll be 10. I think he's 12. Uh, yeah. So she hasn't been consistently in none of her children's life their whole lives. Um, like I said, it's just funny how things are in our community. We got to work on these things. We just this can't be the status quo because we see daily why our society and our communities are the way they are, and our children are getting the results they are. Which is deplorable. Um, like our school systems in some of these inner cities. Like I tried to call down. There's a situation that happened with my daughter, and I tried to call down to the Detroit public school that she went to. Didn't get an answer. Like elementary school, it's crazy. Like a boy had struck her, from what I was told. So I was just calling, trying to talk to a principal, talk to someone. And obviously it's another single mama raised person, that the little boy that had the issue. That's what the mother had told me at that time. So it's just like it's just it's degeneracy, and it's really just destructive. It's self-destructive. A lot of our stuff is like self-inflicted injuries that we go through in our society. Like I know it was a time when I did not have the highest amount of accountability for my actions as far as making this child or wanting to be, um, as I said, pressing the issue to want to be involved in this child's life. Considering the situation in which she came into this life. She was uh the mother chose not to go down the route with me where we take a DNA test. She chose to give the child to my cousin. So that already in itself is, a weird move. If you know for sure that's not that he's not the biological father, why would you even do that? That's already just a snake cowardice weird move. And I chose to be a coward and not step up for something that could have been mine. Potentially I chose to take it out, and not be involved, which the guilt, the time, getting older, a lot of things change. That's just how life is. You're not the same person at 25 as you are. I'll be 35 this year. Not the same person, 24 as you are at 34. So when I conceived the child, so years went by, I wanted to meet, be involved in some form of fashion. I told my cousin didn't even want to have the girl back. I know the work he would put in. I was like, shoot, I just wanted to take a DNA test to be sure, because you avoided me on the first one when she would have been 3-4. You never got back to me about a DNA test then. So I reached out a little bit later and was like, did you take a DNA test? You never got back to me. About maybe 2-3 years later. Yeah, about 3 years later, I got back. Like, did you take a DNA test, or what's going on with it? And then he's like, he's like, what? He's like, call me. So I called him. He's like, basically, if you take the test and it's yours, you have to take the girl. He gave me an ultimatum like that. And I'm like, she doesn't even know me. It was a crazy situation. Like, how would that be the first thing that you go to? It's like, oh, you take the DNA test and it's yours, then you had to take the girl. When I never came at him as if I was wanting to take my child, my potential child back from him. I was just wanted the clarity from, the whole situation. So at that point, that was like 2022, the beginning of 2022, I believe it was. And at that point, he took the test. He came back that he wasn't the father. And then yeah, I never took a test. He wanted me to take a test, and I never was able to take one before the mother came back, and they had some type of conversation going on where she intercepted and took the child back into her custody. He was trying to get the child to me, but it was just a mess, in itself. Like I was like, it was just a big mess. I, personally, I just wanted, me and the mother to be able to do what we should have did from the beginning, which was own up to our situation. But things happen and things progress. But shoot, as I said, man, I always wanted to be, you know, um, if it was mine, I'm always going to be a father to my children. That's just what it is. Like, um, I just didn't expect for this whole drama filled soap opera like situation to unfold the way it did. It's unfortunate for the child. I feel sorry for her. I didn't grow up in any type of situation like this in no way, form, or fashion. Like my cousin or like the mother of the child. I didn't grow up like either of them, single mama situation at all. I had both my parents married my whole life, So I know, and obviously we all know what happens in these black families where their single mother raised kids and children. It's not positive, never. So it's a rarity. And I'm gonna say now, I'm not gonna say never, but the child suffers. Like no matter what, like it might be a positive situation where the mother can maintain and make money and be able to take care of the family and do the duties and take double up for the duties in which she doesn't have a partner to help her with. But the child will lack. The child will not have the fullness, the equally yokeness of having a father, the person who made them, the lineage that they come from. Like it's just not going. It's not conducive. It's not good for the child in the long run. It's not good for the family in the long run. Uh, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it, man. Like straight up. So, man, we all are adults. I just wish we could put our differences to the side to raise this child, raise this girl to a healthy adult. Because time flies, man. This whole situation, she'll be 10 this year, and it just feels like it was a blink of an eye, to be honest. So, for the last, about year and a half, 2 years, I've been trying to right my wrongs. Found out just recently, December, she was my child. So moving forward, man, I'm balls to the wall to try to get back into my child's life because I just don't want her to be involved with a woman who is proud to say that she's in the spirits and cauldrons and wishes death on her own mother and calls her own son who came out of her a demon and a demon spawn who's from her and he has the demons of her mother, just a whole bunch of just negative, you know, asinine, far out there type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Far fetched craziness, to be honest with you. Like I wouldn't want my daughter to be raised around someone who's not all the way there mentally, personally. I don't want that for her, but I hate it. I said this previously, like sometimes, that is her mother. So, I do feel like sometimes we as a people, sometimes we gotta like go through things to make us that we don't even know. God works in mysterious ways. Like maybe this is a way in which God's working to make her life, make her tougher or will her and make her a stronger person for what she has to go through in this life, in this lifetime. That's also something that I'm thinking about too. Like, not having a
rocky start, maybe something that forges her to be a stronger individual in the long run. But I don't want that for her. I don't want that for my seed. I want a person that can be raised in logic. A person that can be able to be practical and deductive reasoning and problem solving and critical thinking and thinking for themselves and free thinker, not someone that's just going to be controlled and manipulated. I want someone that's going to be and in all purposes and all intensive purposes, she's really a intelligent young girl. Like that's one of the beautiful things. Like my DNA, I could see in her. Like she is definitely a person that's not going to deal with a lot of bullshit. That's just I feel like that's just in her because that's how I am. She's gonna be she's gonna be opinionated. Like she's gonna stand up. I feel like it's gonna be a time when she's at odds with her mother. And I'm gonna be right there, and I'm gonna be there beforehand to try to get her back. And interject myself into her life because, as I said previously, she was opening up to me, and man, she was telling me things she wouldn't tell her mother, like the fight. As I told you previously, someone that tried to hit her. Her mother went off on her, and she was upset after that because the mother yelled at the top of her lungs on the phone. I heard that personally, cussing, yelling, profanity, just all kind of craziness right in her face. Had her crying on the phone, like over a situation where I'm just like, why is a boy hitting her? And why am I hearing, situations of a boy hitting her? It was, a consistent thing. So I'm like, what the hell going on, personally? But I just don't want her to be around someone that's not there mentally. It's not wrapped all the way tight. It's not, in love with their self. Doesn't have any type of spiritual connection other than some witch, ungodly cauldron craziness. I want somebody with some foundation to their lives to be raising these children because shoot, what you're teaching them is a house built on sand. It's like just following some TikTok trend online stuff, just lost, man. The blind leading the blind. Like that's what men are for. Men are here to lead and men are here to give direction. That's the purpose of men. What we're here to lead, we're here to give direction. That's it, man. Like straight up, like. And if man is not providing that, he ain't worth shit. Straight up, and he's not a leader. He's not doing his job. He's not being true to himself because that's what we're here to do. We're not here to be led by women. We're here to lead and be mentally focused, mentally clear. We're here to take emotion out of the situation and think with a clear head and lead. You know what I'm saying? Like we can learn from women, we can definitely learn, have an open ear, got to, but we are not here to, follow emotionality, just be, led by off in the wind and just led by a whim. That's not manhood. That's that game banger mentality. It's stupid. It gets us nowhere really. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have a pair, you gotta think for yourself, you just gotta be focused on what you're doing. That's my biggest deal. Cause man, these kids, man, they growing so fast, man, and then a lot of them are misguided. A lot of them are emotionally abused, physically abused. Man, like they just like these generational curses are just passed along, and then that's something I do not want for my child. I do not want the same for my child as for her mother. As the same thing her mother has, I don't want for her had to go through. I don't want that for my child, in no way, form, or fashion. She said her mother took her to a house to be molested by some family members like that. That is crazy, like that. I don't want any of this craziness to be rubbed off on my child, if possible. I want her to be a healthy adult. And that's it. Straight up. Like so, as I said, last time I checked, I have been blocked on everything, from TikTok to Facebook to everything. So, that already in itself is already a coward move. Like why did you shut me out of a child's life that I made? I said that previously. How can you say you love a child when you don't even rock with the child's mother or father, the parent that you made it with? That in itself is, what I'm saying, it's troubling. It's troubling. It's troubling. Like you can have so much malice for a person you had a child with and hatred, but you can say you're giving your all for the child and you're all in for the child. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, because the child is literally half of me. You can't never wipe that away, no matter how I talk to her, as you feel was wrong or whatever. Like it didn't hurt her. I'm never gonna physically abuse her. Like there's never gonna be a situation where she's gonna be in any type of harm when she's around me. I just want the same for when she's around you. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want. Like, yes, I guess things may happen where you have to raise your voice at children. I'm completely aware of that. But I just don't want her to be in a place where she's neglected. That's it. Like, well, as you were neglected, as you were, molested, as you were abused by your family and by people close to you. I don't want that for my child. I don't want that for my children. Like, none of them. None of them. So, yeah, man. Just keep them with it. I'm just staying with it. Staying focused. Shit, just trying not to be denied. Mentally, just trying to stay focused, man. Staying on kill, staying on cold, man. Just not trying to blow up. Because certain situations can come back to get on you. Thinking irrationally and moving irrationally. It can come back on you if I just was volatile and sent cops up to her to do welfare checks or just did some negative stuff to her. Just stuff. You know what I'm saying? It can end up with my child getting hurt. That's how I look at it as. Am I potentially things being worse off for her? So it's already a volatile situation. She already isn't rap type mentally. So where I stand now, I've been out of contact with her for all of January, damn near the beginning of January to now. A couple days, it'll be a month. Been out of contact with my daughter. I said only contact I've had is through Cash App, send her a couple bucks. I was just to make sure I wasn't blocked, send her a couple dollars. But yeah, man, I would really like to be involved in her life. Just don't want it. I don't want all this loose ends and negativity shrouded in my spirit and in my tribe. You know what I'm saying? Like my family tree. You feel me? Like it's crazy, man. You should never have children out of wedlock or with women you don't love or care about. Never have children with women you don't care about. Say that one more time. Never have children with women or people you don't care about. Don't do it. It's not good for you. It's not good for the child. It's not good for any parties involved. If you have any children with people you don't care about, you hurting that child, man. I'm telling you, in the long run, you hurting that child. But yeah, she keep me out of the child's life. Has so much negative and things to say about me, but hey, we're gonna move on. We're gonna press on, man. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna press on, and we're gonna have to put this thing in the law. We had to press charges, put this thing in the courts, man. Put it in the court of law's hands. Take it out of my hands, man, and out of the emotional women, female custodial parents' hands. You know, but so it's what it is. Like the proof is in the pudding. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? You can badmouth me all you want, but the proof is in the pudding who has gone through certain things. And if you just wanna, I'm not all about, accolades and, awards and keep the stats, but I mean, like the proof is in the pudding. I have never been locked up for 14 months ever in my life. I haven't been locked up at all, knock on wood, ever in my life. So have not been uh somebody accused of pimping or doing no sex trafficking crazy shit like that ever in my life. Nobody trying to, you know what I'm saying, and being accused of abusing or beating down women and nothing like this. You know what I'm saying? Have great kids, nothing but positive things to say about me. Just a case of a woman who hates accountability. That's it. This is just a case of a woman who hates accountability, man. And that's a lot of women's kryptonite. Being held that mirror into your face and showing your warts and your imperfections and being forced to accept it. And that's hard. That's hard for a lot of people. And men to do it, I call them bitch ass niggas. Should be straight up. But women, man, it's just a bitch trait to want to do that, to want to be held non-accountable for your actions, because I don't know what it is, man. Like, but men, even if you look at the punitive system, men are locked up at a higher rate than women and are given harder and harsher charges for the same crimes. It's just like we are forced to have accountability as men. It's if women it's not the same. So it's like she's just a woman who does not like to have accountability. And women they just don't like it, but it don't matter. We don't gotta like each other to raise a good child. We don't gotta like each other to raise a positive, great woman. Turn her into a young lady and then a positive person for this in this society. We don't gotta like each other. So I look at it. My main priority is a child. I don't know what hers is. Like she thinks she's protecting her by keeping her from me. You're not, and other men, you're not. You're hurting her. That's asinine. That's fucking stupid. Like, how do you think you? She's in no danger with me. That's fucking the most ridiculous shit that I've ever heard. Like to try to say them little words that I said that were taken, like she might have took out of context that she did. There's little words. I'll accept all words that I said. I don't take any of that back. So them little words equal up to me being a bad parent or someone that she should be kept away from? No way. That is ridiculous. You're running from a man, a real man. You're running from that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not one of these peon ass Pookies and Ray Ray ass niggas you used to in Detroit and all these Floridas and all these motherfucking Charlottes and all this motherfucking place you been. Goddamn run around acting like you're goddamn hustle and flow or some shit, nigga. This ain't that. Or fucking I ain't with it. I'm a classic real nigga. I ain't with none of that ghetto ignorant bullshit. So that don't fly around me. So you come around me and you gotta be on your P's and Q's or you gonna be awkward. Or you gonna have to get the fuck from around me. So I'm that type nigga. Like really should never have even dealt with no situation with a woman that had that mindset. Like would never want to have child or children with no woman like that, but did. So I'm facing the consequences of it and living up to it right now and accepting it. You know, like accepting the pain of seeing somebody that looks like me go through shit and not have nobody to talk to. You know, probably be lost and wondering what's going on. Like got my cousin taken away from her. That was a father figure she had. You know, whatever the fact. You know, me taken away from her. That's a father. That's her actual father and a father figure I was building relationship with her as. And man, she just lost. So who's really losing? You know, you think you hurting me, yeah, but I mean, I have 3 out of 4 kids with me. You know what I'm saying? So you have 1 out of 3. So I mean, you think you hurting me by trying to take something from me, you know, and take like this somewhat of a perfect life away from me in some, form of fashion. Who are you really hurting? You know, you hurting me, of course. You know, I'm gonna be a man. A piece of me is somewhere that I can't be a part of their life that hurts. But who is the one that's getting hurt the most? You know, because I had to focus my attention on what I have and what's on my plate right now, which is my kids is right in front of me. So you got to think, who are you really hurting? You know, because I mean, you're not a kid. You know, your life is set in stone. She still has the opportunity and chance. So don't do that. Don't take that from that child of having the opportunity to love men, respect men, honor men, know her father. Know his likes and dislikes. Know how the game. You know, I could teach her the game or how to deal with men. You know, don't take that from that child. You know, just because it wasn't given to you. Don't do that. You know, because that's what you're doing. A lot of these women today, that's what I feel like. You know, they're taking these situations and these opportunities from these children because they were denied it. You know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander mindset, but in reality, it's not. In reality, that is not true. You know what I'm saying? That is a generational curse that needs to be broken. Straight up, man. But like I said, this part 3, man. I ain't gonna harp on it for too long, man. I appreciate y'all listening. Like, share, subscribe. It's my closing. It's my intro. This is no more on this uh conversations with a frustrated baby father. This is the end, man. I appreciate it, man. Y'all follow me on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Shit, I'm even on Twitch, man. Follow me, man. I got all my shit all over the place, man. Send me a cash app if you very well may or want to, feel so obliged, man. I appreciate it, man, because this my baby. We just getting started. True masculinity, TMP, toxic masculinity, man. We're all that. So, man, I ain't running away from no phase. I ain't ducking no wrecks, man. So, man, I don't know what her problem is, man. We're gonna get some straightening though. 2024. This the year of clarity, man. I'm going cat on these motherfuckers if they want to try me. So it is what it is, man. But I appreciate y'all listening, getting this bread, man, out here just talking, man, want to just, unravel my brain some, man. But I appreciate it, man. Taking care of these children. My daughter's birthday coming up. I ain't playing, man. Like, shit, motherfuckers don't fuck with me. Shit, that's your problem, man. I don't lose no sleep. Shoot, God is my anchor. God is my rock. Like, straight up, I don't need you, in reality. So, man, I appreciate y'all hollering at me and listening, man. Shit, it's me.